Welcome to Details and Luxury. Here's a look at the top 7 best televised poker bets and how they turned out. Watch to see which players won and lost the most prominent poker pots. Number 7. Tom Dwan vs Phil Ivey for $1 million. Without this hand, which played back a couple of years ago between Phil Ivey and Tom Dwan, no list of massive pots would be in full. The game was played in 2010 in London's $1 million cash match. Duan started the hand with $538,500 ahead of him, and Ivey a bit over $1.1 million ahead. Also at the table was Antonius, who was now three-handed when others hit the door of the exit after 20 hours of play. With blinds at $1,000 or $2,000 and a $500 ante, Duan called the action up to $23,000 with 7 and 6 hearts from the button, while Ivey raised it to ace of clubs and 2 diamonds. The call was made by Duan and the two were heads up with a flop bringing jack of clubs, 3 diamonds, and 4 clubs. Both players have straight draws now, and Ivey is betting $35,000 on a $49,500 pot. Duan made a call and the miracle 5 hearts dropped on the turn, giving Ivey a nut straight inferior to Duan. Ivey made a $90,000 bet and Duan was worried about his decision for a long time. He raised $142,000 more after several minutes, ballooning the pot to $442,100. Ivey was going all in after a minute of thought, and Duan made a quick decision. The river brought a meaningless jack of hearts, and Duan raked a $1.1 million pot. This pot was the biggest one in a televised poker game at that time, and commentator Robert Williamson III noted, "You've just seen poker history done right here tonight." If you think this is a massive poker pot in televised history, wait till you check out number 1 in our list. Number 6. Tom Dwan strikes it again. It seems that Tom Dwan always gets interested in big pots, and he came out again on this one's lucrative side. He was among the participants of Poker Goes Poker After Dark in August 2017, a $200 or $400 cash game with a minimum $100,000 buy-in. Antonio Esfandiari was treated with King of Hearts and King of Clubs and increased the operation. Negriano kept Queen of Diamonds and Queen of Clubs on the button and brought it back to $3,500. Tom Dwan looked down on the big blind at Ace of Spades and Ace of Clubs and 4-bet to $14,000. Esfandiari then 5-bet to $41,000. Negriano was calling, but Duan declared all in for his remaining $328,000. Folding kings seemed impossible, and finally, Esfandiari made the call. Negriano then tucked his queens, and with disgust, Esfandiari gazed at the resulting hand. They ran the hand twice, but Esfandiari was given no support, and Duan gave away a $697,100 pot. Number 5. The gold standard. Jamie Gold and Antonius played in another high-stakes game from many years ago in a big pot that left Gold in rough shape. Antonius raised $4,000 with Ace of Spades and Jack of Diamonds, and Gold looked down on King of Spades and King of Diamonds. Gold said it looked like Antonius could have aces, but boosted to $14,000 by just calling Antonius. The flop took $15,000 to 3 spades, Queen of Diamonds, and 10 hearts, and then Gold invested $15,000. Antonius made the call to take the lead in the hand, needing an ace or king for straight. The King of Hearts, of course, came on the turn to offer Gold trips, but Antonius made it straight for his Broadway. For Jamie, that's bad luck, commentator Gabe Kaplan declared quickly. Then Antonius let out with a $45,000 bet, bringing the pot to nearly $106,000. Later, Gold re-raised all in the last of his $341,500 with cash laying bricks on the table. Antonius made a quick bid for a $743,500 jackpot. Gold looked at his luck in disbelief and needed a pair of board to make a full house. Both players decided for approximately $250,000 each to raise the river 3 times. Amazingly, for a full house and a $500,000 ranking, Gold hit a queen on the river to take first and then a 3 on a second. A 10 on the third run provided one small victory for Antonius. Number 4. Ivey makes a huge call for the win. This fascinating hand was played out on the famous television show High Stakes Poker at the end of that day's session a few years ago. Gus Hansen raised $4,200 under Queen of Clubs and 6 diamonds. Following a few flips, Eli Elezra made a 9 and 5 clubs call, much as Phil Ivey made a 9 spades and 9 diamonds. Jason Mercier boosted to $22,100 with ace and 4 of hearts. Only Ivey made the call, which took the pot to $55,000. The flop brought 2 spades, 3 diamonds, and 7 hearts, and Ivey looked in good shape. Mercier had a $28,700 shot, and Ivey earned $50,000 more. Mercier thought a moment, and then put it in, a $107,000 re-raise. Ivey thought a moment and grumbled, "If you've got the overpair, you've got me," before asking for a $425,400 tank. Mercier had just 32% chance of winning and needed an ace or a 5 for a straight line. After Ivey was only trying to run it once, Mercier didn't get any support on the turn and river, the 8 clubs and queen of spades. Ivey got the bluff and ruffled a big pot. We're halfway on our list of the top 7 biggest poker pots in televised history. How are you taking it so far? Stick around to see the top 3 in our list. Let us know in the comment section, we'd like to hear about it. Now on with the video. Number 3. Paul Fua ships $2.5 million. This hand happened in 2018 as part of the cash game Trine Poker Super High Roller in Jeju, South Korea, featuring a $1 million buy-in. The game is played using the Korean won, and this one had plenty of won currency. With Tom Dwan mixing it up in this nosebleed level cash game, a familiar name appears once again. Blinds in this hand are about 3 million or 6 million won, with an ante of about 6 million won and a straddle of about 12 million won. Through King of Hearts and Queen of Clubs, Dominic Nietzsche opened the action with a raise to 30 million, which Tom Dwan with Ace of Spades and Queen of Hearts is re-raising by 120 million. Paul Fua then moved the pot to a substantial $431,000, raising it to the massive $320 million with Ace of Hearts and Ace of Clubs. Duan would be on the wrong end of this big hand though. After 4 minutes, he declared all-in and got an instant call from Fua. The ball had been priced at just under $2.5 million with a mountain of chips in the center. With 3 of hearts on the turn and a pointless queen of diamonds on the river, the flop took 7 hearts, king of clubs, and 4 hearts. After the crushing defeat, Duan got up and made his exit. If you're very much amazed by these big poker pots that happened live, then you'll definitely be wowing at number 1 even more. Number 2. Quads create a cooler. A few years ago, High Stakes Poker created another big pot, this time involving 2 of the biggest names in TV poker, Patrick Antonius and Daniel Negreanu. Hansen opened the betting to 5 diamonds and 5 clubs, with a raise to $2,100, and Negreanu 3-bet to $5,000 with an increase to 6 spades and 6 hearts. Antonio Esfandiari, who folded Ace of Diamonds and Queen of Clubs, wrapped around the action. The flop produced some big sparks with both players hitting trips after the dealer spreading 9 clubs, 6 diamonds, and 5 hearts as much as possible. Hansen tested with Negreanu betting $8,000. Hansen raised to $26,000 after considering his options for a little bit, believing his hand was right, and his opponent decided to call. That changed when the turn came to 5 spades. His quads had a commanding lead. Hansen let out afterwards with a $24,000 bet, and Negreanu took his time to make another pass. Hansen remained silent as his rival mulled his choices. Eventually, Negreanu made the call, playing his whole house slowly and not knowing his poor luck in this one. Just the last 6 will bail him out on top. The river brought an 8 spade, and incredibly, Hansen checked his hand, hoping to induce Negreanu's big bet. Hansen was going all in for $167,000 more when he shot $65,000. Negreanu then said, "You might have the nuts," but finally made the decision. The tests are disgusting, and the $575,700 pot draws the Great Dane in. For Negreanu, it was quite more relaxed, and for Hansen, it was a miracle 1-outer. Before we reveal number 1, be sure to subscribe on this channel if you want to stay up to date on the best and most exciting topics that we could discuss on luxury and prestige. Now we're down to the first on our list. Number 1. Jason Kuhn vs. Elton Tang. What happened at the Triton Super High Roller Series has shocked the poker community. Poker legends, Asian business people, and local amateurs sat down at the cash table and produced some of the biggest pots ever seen. Team Party Poker's Jason Kuhn was playing in one of those games, and he won 2 big pots. From High Rollers, we know him well, so no wonder Joey Ingram invited him to come over. Guys spoke about big games, wins, and those that are sitting at the top right now. Kuhn didn't have to wait long for this pot to fill up his bankroll once again. An open-ended straight flush draws good enough to get the middle 1.5 million euros. But when he reached the straight on the shore, he was unable to get Elton to come along, which would have broken record. Massive cash games are a tradition in Asia. Businessmen from there are used to gaining huge numbers and losing them. Jason says the USA doesn't even provide provisions for these games to happen. We can't ignore the man known as Elton Tang when it comes to cash games. Poker player and businessman who won the big one for One Drop European Edition, but is still a very mysterious person. Kuhn says he could be the biggest winner of poker cash games among others. There certainly are people who have won over $100 million. This game would be too small for Elton Tang, like $1 or $2 in a casino. I recall playing online for $2 or $4 and jumping to $12,500 or $25,000. I'm sure he won over $120 million. Well, there you go. You just found out the top 7 biggest poker pots in televised history. Ready to hop in some poker action yourself? Let us know what you think in the comments below.